Thanks for staying with us. So the conversation today is about Zamfara State. However, it's not just Zamfara State where we're having workers, civil servants complaining of non-payment of salaries. It's across many states. And the conversation really is more about the preparedness of the new governors, the existing governors, to ensure that this never repeats itself again, where people can actually get jobs. And Beecee was giving us some ideas on how governors can get very, very creative in looking for other sources of revenue. However, let's go also to the parts of what I said, that this present president, many have said, well, President Buhari he would expect you to do your job. You've been elected. He's not going to breathe over your head to ensure you do certain things. He just lets you do. But this new incoming the president-elect, we will definitely, some of our expectations of him is to be able to hold these governors accountable, regardless of what party, if there is kingsman from his own party or not. We need to we need to set the agenda of what Nigerians' expectations are. Because we can't have civil servants begging God for salaries when it is man ought to pay the salaries. Yeah. Let me come to you, Mariam.
So, first of all, right, with the relationship between the president and governors of different states, yes. I don't know how far a president is able to influence governors, especially governors of opposing political parties. You know, they seem to, the way it's done in Nigeria, and I think they seem to constantly be in opposition. You know, if the president is of a particular party and he goes left, be sure that the governors of the other party will go right. But one thing I would say is that towards this this election that brought about the president-elect Asiwaju, is that one narrative I heard consistently from the North, why he had such an overwhelming support from that area, is that they have seen what he has done in Lagos and what he started when he was governor and has sustained over the years, and they would like to see that in their own region as well. So you're likely to find a group of northern governors who will be willing to, you know, tap into what he has to offer and be willing and be open to do that. And I'm happy also because the North really does need the sort of intervention that Lagos State has gotten from the policies that Asiwaju had laid when he first became governor and what he sustained, the blueprint that he has. The North would really enjoy from something like that. I feel that the North is just a paradise just waiting to be explored. You know, the immense benefits for its people and also for the country at large, even for Africa. What we constantly hear from the North is, even as a child, when my grandma, when we would go to Jalingo or when I used to go to Yola, all those places, she'd just be showing me hills and this and telling me stories of, when Chinese came, they just said, only this place in Gembu or only this area will feed the whole of Africa. I used to hear that as a baby, and I'm still hearing that, you know. I just want it to be a reality. And when I look at it constantly, I've always thought that it was the lack of creativity of our governors and our leadership, but also it's just been compounding. The insecurity, whether we like it or not, is a serious issue. If people do not feel safe, Zamfara is largely an agricultural state. You know, although it's also blessed with huge, solid mineral deposits, but people cannot even get to the farms. We are constantly, you know, fighting one thing or the other. I would really appreciate a federal government that is able to restore security back, especially the northern areas, so that the governors now can do the business of creating wealth, creating jobs and employment for people there.
Very fantastic point, Mariam. In addition to that, also, we also need to federal government to help these governors have less politicking. Because some could argue that Governor Matawale for the past few years has done more of politicking than really governing. Many, if I'm reading from the report from the Premium Times, according to him, he was, at the time he came in, he was arguably one of the most liked, most celebrated and respected politicians in Zamfara. According to this report, there was a time that he was with, he was in PDP obviously, and it was, as I said earlier, it was a Supreme Court judgment that caused him to move on to APC. But he had represented in PDP the face of the new PDP, braving all the odds. His decision to stay in PDP and publicly identify with the poor in the state made him a hero amongst his people. No one thought he would ever jump ship to the APC from the PDP after he was declared the new governor awaiting by the Supreme Court. So as soon as he joined his old allies, he felt there was nobody in PDP that can actually upturn or win against him. So it was more of a political, it was like he was focusing more on all those politicking than actually in governance. Now, what this conversation really is about is that we need to see the posture of the new and incoming administration as regards they're holding account of the governors to ensure there's actual development of the people, because we understand there's a bigger picture. There's a bigger picture for macroeconomics and all that to help to develop the nation. But some people just lack creativity.
Truth.
Some governors just lack, they are just so used for collecting money from the center that they're not even thinking. Yeah. So this Zamfara State case study must not be replicated across the country. I think that's really what our conversation is about this morning.
Yeah, so what I see is one of the major issues is the fact that the governors live for the future and not in the present moment. So they are more concerned about clinching power, about coming back for a second term than what they are supposed to be doing in the first term. So if you have been elected, you are done with the politicking. It's a no-brainer that you should still continue playing to the gallery because you want to come back. If you are interested in your people, and there's little the federal government can do, they cannot carry cane and be flogging all the governors. You that decided to be a governor of your state should have the interest of your state at heart. I remember there was a time we had a conversation with Fashola, and he was explaining how he needed to do some things in terms of security, and he had to go straight to the president to make his plans known that, Oga, you have to give me so that I can better protect my people. And even when they were asking him, you have to go through the bureaucracy, he said, no, I have to see the president. He insisted, and the president gave him audience. So there's little the president can do in terms of taking cane and flogging governors to love their people. You that you are a leader, you don't know that you're supposed to be thinking for your people, but you're more concerned about holding on to the power. So instead of doing the work, let us give them the rice. Let us give them the 5,000 naira so that they will re-elect us again. And you forget that you need to set a legacy. You need to love your people. You need to think creatively, especially in the north. I feel so bad. So I had a little background in the north. I grew up a bit in Kano. My father was working in the north at that time. I've been to Maiduguri as well. The place is beautiful. I travel to places like Botswana. I don't see anything fantastic. I go to Mauritius. There's nothing fantastic. There are places in Nigeria that are more beautiful than these places that we spend so much to go and just have a look around. Why are you not thinking of tourism? Why are you not having the conversation, bringing people in? Why are you not ensuring that security is tight in your place so that people can come in? Some of us will save money from the beginning of the year to the end because we want to go to one country. Why can't I just carry my bag and go to a place like Jalingo to have vacation with my children? My children do not know Nigeria today because I'm afraid. So it's not for you to, focus on, I have to just be here for 8 years, Focus on what can I do for my people now that I am here. Even if it's 6 months, they should feel the impact you have on them as a governor.
Right. You know, I was really intrigued because this conversation also is based on some of the reports we've read, especially from Premium Times. And I was reading the report, and it was quite enlightening to read that even the Governor Matawale at the time was asked during his campaign about his capital projects, if he had been using the projects as a tool to campaign for second term. But according to the report, Matawale could not cite any project he had done. Okay. Rather, he said that the people of Zamfara had seen and appreciated what he has done. Also, civil servants have also been feeling the heat because the salaries were not paid. As of this report, according to this report, as of February 2023, they hadn't been paid their salaries. Minimum wage increment has also been on and off, with several civil servants complaining that their salary has been slashed instead of being increased. So there are lots of issues, and for these people to come out on Saturday to pray, they needed divine intervention. But let's come to the issue of prayer, because it's not a Zamfara problem, it's a Nigerian problem. We always, every little thing, we say, God, after complaining about Nigeria, the best way to round up the final sentence, we always say, God will help us.